Hi everyone, Mary Ayres here from tapintoaction.com, and today we're going to be talking about installing new programs. More specifically, what kind of programs do we want to install? That's what the big question is. And so very frequently, people will recognize that they've got a program, a belief that says I am not enough, or I don't feel safe, or I don't feel lovable. We've They've recognized that they have a program for that lack. And when I ask them, so what program would you want to have? And how would you want to feel? Is another way of asking that. And they'll go, well, I want to feel enough. I want to feel safe. I want to feel lovable. And I can ask them, well, do you know what that feels like? And I get the most wonderful blank look because if they had a program for feeling enough, they would be able to feel it. So it's a desire for something that we yet don't have a program for. Now, you would think that we would just go, okay, well, let's put in a program for enoughness. Well, I'm going to do one better for you. I'm going to show you that really what we do want is a program that will direct us to find the evidence that supports the beliefs that we want to have. In other words, we want to be able to identify what it feels like when we are feeling enough already, so we can start collecting more of that evidence. And the more of the evidence that we have, the more that we can duplicate it, and then that means it starts becoming part of us, part of the deep change process, not just a conceptual process of I would like to feel more enough or safe or whatever, but we really know what it means to feel it. And so when we have a program, I'm going to call it a discovery program, a let's find out program. Okay, it means that when that question comes up, we have a resource. We have a part of us that says, hey, let's find out what that feels like. What could we do? What kind of beliefs would we have? What would it feel like? What would be an example of that? That's about the lens you use, and we want it to start bringing those things more into what we can see. And we have to do that. We have to put that program in that will teach us how to look for that. And I hope all that makes sense. I'm going to be doing a lot more talking about installing different kinds of programs. And so I think if you stay with me, just kind of follow me, you can do that down below. Just subscribe. You will stay in the loop of being able to learn more and more about installing programs, okay? And how you can use tapping to do that, to set ourselves up to be able to put in a new program. So let's go ahead and look at some of the beliefs that we do have, okay? Even just as I'm asking you, think about the kind of belief you do want to have, and then ask yourself, do you know what that feels like? Can you recall some experiences? Now, very often we can pull up one or two experiences, but they might be a little weak. They may not be as strong. This often very much happens is that because our programs that hurt, the ones that are there to protect us because they want to keep us safe from being hurt again, tend to be really strong. Intense. We remember those feelings well. Happy feelings that we want, they tend to be a little softer. They just don't get as much airtime. We don't repeat them often enough in our lives for that to be a strong, knowing feeling in our body. We're going to change that. So sometimes we might have had a little bit of that, but we tend to, a time or two where we felt enough or we felt safe, but they feel really small. They don't feel strong. They don't feel confident. We don't feel confident about them. So think about maybe a feeling, the idea of wanting to feel something and not feeling it yet. Feeling a little bit of an absence, a little bit of a hole, a lack of that knowledge of, the experiences, the moments where you've been able to collect that kind of material. Think about, how that feels to kind of have a void there. For some people, this is kind of uncomfortable because it's not familiar to them. It may even be scary to even have the idea that you could feel it, even if we want it. I know that sounds Crazy, but nevertheless, it can happen. Okay? And that's what we're going to use our tapping for. It doesn't matter. We've got this great tool right now that helps our body be more receptive to new ideas, to new ways of being. So let's get on it. Tap here with me, okay? Because what I want you to do is really just think of the feeling of confusion right now. Maybe you're confused about what I'm even saying. It's okay. It's just that because we feel that when we don't have quite a knowledge base for ourselves, we don't have any reference for it. So I might be saying something that sounds gibberish to you right now. Thank you for hanging out with me. And anyhow, you will get it. This is an interim feeling of not knowing. So even though I don't know what I want to feel or how it would feel, I am curious about what it would be like. Even though I'm not sure I've got many memories of times when I did feel the way I want to feel. That's okay. I'm going to start collecting more now. Even though I have this feeling of the unknown, the lack of knowledge, the sense of feeling unsure. There's so much of that going on right now. And I can really feel it in my body. There's a vagueness, an uncertainty. And I acknowledge all those feelings. And I'm ready to discover what programs I could install, what I could believe, how I might develop and collect more evidence to start feeling more of the feelings I want to feel. I can feel that vagueness in my body and in my head. I get the concepts about creating a new program and feeling those feelings. But it feels like something's missing within me. And I'm not really sure where to go to get it. Or even if I have it. After all, that hasn't really been my story. That I feel enough, or I feel safe, or I feel confident, or I feel wanted, or that I belong. Yet those are all the programs I want. I want to feel all those yummy feelings. So where can I begin? What program do I need? I might start with a program that would be helpful by asking me good questions. That would teach me how to find things that would be helpful. That would validate that new belief. Times when I'm feeling those strong feelings just a little bit. That would give me a place to store that information. Because if I don't know where to put those good times, then I'm not able to collect them. So what if I was to start a new file? Maybe I'd call it a discovery file. And in that file, I would start to collect small evidences of moments of certainty, times where I could feel a little bit of trust, times when I felt a little bit grounded, times when I was out there in the world and it felt okay. Moments where I felt that peace inside. Now I have a place to hold on to those. I could collect them. Now I know what I'm looking for. Small moments that really matter. I have a place for them now. I have good questions to find them. What would I notice? What feelings would I notice? Now I have a place to put them. And this is a beginning to create a new way of being. Take a breath. Take a breath, because look at the potential right now. There's this potential. You have a place to put a good experience. It's not the exception to what I've been saying or how I've been looking or how I've been evaluating. Okay? It actually becomes a legitimate storehouse for you to be able to go, that's a possibility. I can see that being me. I can see that being my story. Why? Because I have questions to ask myself. I have evidence that I have been collecting that proves that this is true for me. It's exactly what we did the other way around. You've been collecting evidence that supports the other beliefs. Now we're going to be collecting evidence that support your new belief. And once that gets really strong and you are able to run that program over and over and identify those feelings, that's when it becomes something you own. And then it becomes part of your identity. And that's how you make deep change. Okay? So we're beginning. We're going to be talking a lot more about installing and what kind of things do we want to install. I love to hear from you. I want to hear if this was so helpful for you, so you know if you could put the little like down below or a little heart or leave me a comment, what you understood, what was helpful, what you're looking forward to. I love hearing from you. And if you subscribe, then you'll get all the notice of all the upcoming videos that are coming up too. So you've got the beginning of a program, right? Play with it, be gentle with it. We want to let it grow. It's okay to be to have some sense of the unknown right now, that maybe this hasn't clicked really strongly. That's okay. It really is. After all, we're introducing a new idea. That's why we're putting it into the folder, going, let's find out. I'm open to hearing more. You've got a folder for that now. This is some of your evidence in there that you are open, you are ready, and you're looking forward to it. Hey, you guys, till next time, this is Mary Ayers from tapindaction.com. Stay brilliant.